Hey there, my yogi friend. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. Today's practice is going to be a yin yoga session for insomnia and anxiety. And so because of that, we're going to be focusing on the heart meridian. So if you're newer to yin yoga and you're like, what the heck is a meridian? These are basically considered to be energy pathways that are in your body through which you can experience the flow of qi, or the life force energy, as it's said to be in the traditional Chinese medicine, which is the system that yin yoga is based off of. So for today's practice, we're going to be focusing on the heart meridian, which is considered to be the seat of emotions and thoughts. And when this meridian becomes blocked, it can be manifested in your body and in your experience as insomnia or anxiety, as well as a few other things such as heart palpitations, chest pain. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I do have a blog article on the heart meridian on insomnia and anxiety, so I'll leave that link below so you can read up a little bit more about that if that interests you. So if you're going to be doing this practice before going to bed, you may even do this in your bed. I'm going to lead you into Shavasana, but I will let you stay there so that you don't have to turn anything off or hear any other words from me after that. I'll just kind of guide you into your slumber. Well, hopefully you'll experience a deeper slumber from this class. And so because of that, I'm going to just mention right now at the start of this video, if you enjoy this class, please subscribe to my channel, as this will help me to keep putting out these free classes for you to enjoy. Also, feel free to let me know how this class works for you in the comments below. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So for this class, you may want to have a strap and a pillow or blanket. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or scarf or anything that will allow you to close the gap in between your hands for our first posture. So whenever you're ready, you can come down onto your mat, and we're just going to start off in a comfortable seat to get grounded. You can sit up on top of a block or a blanket if that would feel more comfortable, and then bring your spine upright. Draw your shoulders down your back. If it would feel okay, you can close your eyes. And go ahead and take a deep breath in to begin, and a nice long exhale out. One more time, deep inhale. And with your exhale, let your shoulders drop down your back. So just take a moment here to arrive into your body, bringing your breath into your awareness, noticing what sensations you feel, and perhaps even taking a few breaths to recognize your experience right now. So recognizing that you're feeling a little bit anxious, that you're feeling this insomnia. So just let it be there. Validate this experience. Notice how this experience is making you feel in your body, or what thoughts it might bring up. And see if you can gradually sort of take a step back from whatever it is that you're feeling, or whichever thoughts are coming up. Just observe. Become the witness, without judgment, without reaction. And go ahead and take about 5 more deep breaths here. Feeling yourself a little bit more grounded with each exhale. rooted into the ground. Letting your breath be natural and smooth. And let's take one more deep breath here, in and out of your nose. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come into our first posture where we'll be taking archer arms, so you can stay in the seated position or move into any other comfortable seated position. You can have your strap ready by your side. I'm going to offer a couple of variations. So I'm going to turn around so you can see me better, but you can stay facing the same way that you are. So from here, you're going to extend your right arm up towards the ceiling, wrap your left arm behind your back, and then bring your hands to touch. If your hands don't meet, this is where you're going to want to use your strap and just close that gap with your strap. And remember that with the yin practice, we're not quite going into our deepest stretch. So even if your hands normally meet when you're doing this type of arm bind in a vinyasa practice, maybe for this one you use a strap just to find a sensation that's closer to around 40 to 60% of your full stretch, your full capacity. Once you've settled in, lengthen up through the crown of your head, drop your shoulders down your back, and come back to your breath. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. And see if you can soften through your wrists and through your forearms. Soften your shoulders. And keep your tailbone rooted down, let it be heavy. So the heart meridian is located at the center of the chest where the heart would be, going down to the diaphragm. And then there's another channel that runs up through the neck and to the eyes. And then another channel that runs down the chest to the armpit and through the inner part of the arm and to the inner elbow crease and coming all the way down to the tip of the pinky finger. So most of the poses we'll be taking today will be located in this part of the body in order to stimulate this meridian and bring it back into balance. Very gently release your strap or your hands, whichever you're holding on to. You can take your strap off to the side for a moment and just draw a few circles with your shoulders. Notice how you're feeling after that little stretch. Check in with your breath. And we'll go ahead and take it to the other side. So extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. Right arm wraps around your back. Bend your left elbow and connect your hands either with your hands or with your strap. And this side might be different than the other side. So take a moment to settle into that 40 to 60% sensation in your shoulder area, in your spine, your neck. And once you've found your position on this side, Resolve to be still. The second principle of yin yoga, after you've found your edge, that moment where you resolve to be still and let gravity do the work, gravity and time. So there's nothing you have to do but allow yourself to be here right now. And whatever it is that has you feeling anxious or is keeping you up at night, just know that right now in this moment, you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to solve anything. You don't have to figure out how it's going to all work out. Right now, you just have to relax and come into your body. This is your moment to be still. Very slowly release your hands or your strap, and you can place that strap off to your side. Take a moment to roll out your shoulders. And whenever you're ready, we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So come down onto your belly. Extend your forearms out in front of you, stacking your shoulders above your elbows. Let your shoulders come down your back, away from your ears. And if it would feel more comfortable here, you can rest your forehead on a block or on your pillow. And allow your glutes to soften, releasing through the back of your legs. Let your feet feel heavy into the ground. And let your face soften, coming back to your breath. Right now, there's absolutely nowhere else you have to be. Nothing that needs to get done. Nothing that needs to be figured out. Gently release your forehead down to the mat, taking your elbows out wide. Make a little pillow with your hands, and you might even sway your hips from side to side here to release through your lower back. And take a few deep breaths. Just notice if anything has begun to shift inside. And slowly come to stillness. For our next pose, we're going to come into broken wing. I'm going to offer a couple of different variations, so take your time to find what would work for you. From here, extend your left arm out to the side, palm on the ground. Come onto your right fingertips underneath your right elbow, and then roll your right hip on top of your left, bending your knees. You may want to rest your head on your blanket or your pillow. And then option 2, drape your right arm behind you and just let it fall to wherever would feel natural. You can also stay right here and then bend your left elbow, coming into sort of goalpost position instead. And just notice how that changes the stretch. Or if you're going to keep your arm extended, if you know you can take it a little bit deeper, you might take the sole of your right foot behind you and extend your left leg. If you're already a little bit more open in the shoulders, you might even connect your hands together, keeping that left arm in line with your shoulder. So once again, take this moment to find your edge around that 40 or 60% of your full capacity. Come back to your breath, noticing the sensation around your left pec, around that shoulder. See if you can soften into that area. Very slowly begin to roll back onto your belly. If your right arm is draped behind you, take it back around. And one more time, make that little pillow with your hands. Pausing here for a few breaths, noticing the difference from side to side. Checking in with your breath, noticing the quality of your breath, noticing if anything has shifted. And if nothing has shifted, also perhaps taking this moment to find a little bit of compassion, being gentle with yourself and knowing that it doesn't have to shift right away. Being patient and just allowing yourself to very gently slip into this receiving mode, this surrender that these yin poses offer us. When you're ready, extend your right arm out to your side, placing your palm on the ground. Roll your left hip on top of your right, bending your knees. And either stay here or find a goal pose position with your right arm. Or you might take the sole of your left foot behind you and extend your right leg. You might let your left arm drape behind you. Just notice if this side feels any different than your other side. Let your right arm feel heavy. Let your legs weigh down into the ground. And come back to your breath in and out of your nose. Very slowly roll back down onto your belly, making that little pillow with your hands one more time. Pause here for a few breaths. You might sway your hips from side to side gently to release your lower back. And whenever you're ready, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back into a brief child's pose. And for this one, you can take your knees together and arms can come by your side with your palms pointing up, letting your shoulders relax. Go ahead and take about 4 deep breaths here. Bring your hands back in front to press yourself up. And we're going to come into our next posture. We'll be taking a thread the needle. So make your way first to a tabletop position, stacking shoulders above wrists. Take your knees out about hips width apart, stacking your hips above your knees. And from here on your inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. With your exhale, thread that arm underneath your left armpit, lowering your shoulder and right ear down to the mat. You can either extend your left arm out in front of you or wrap it around your back. If your hips have collapsed off to one side, gently bring them back over your knees. And gradually come back to your breath. Soften through your right shoulder and out your fingertips. Soften your face and your jaw. Letting your body surrender into this shape. Notice if your thoughts have begun to wander, and gently bring yourself back to focusing on the sensations in your body and on your breath. If you have your left arm wrapped around your back, gently bring it back to the top of your mat. Press yourself up to come back into that tabletop position. And it might feel good here to move through a few gentle cat-cows, or maybe even find a circular motion through the chest. Just taking a few breaths here. And slowly come back into a neutral tabletop. On your inhale, take your left arm up. Exhale, thread that arm underneath your right armpit, lowering your shoulder and ear down to the mat. And once again, right arm can either extend out in front of you, or you can wrap it around your back and just let it dangle to wherever would feel comfortable. Notice the sensation through your left shoulder. And allow your body to be heavy. Let your belly drop. Let your chest drop down towards the floor. And come back to a smooth, natural breath in and out of your nose. If you have your right arm wrapped around your back, bring it back to the top of your mat. Press yourself back up into that tabletop position. Take any movement here that would feel good. And then slowly slide back into a seat on top of your heels. You might take a few shoulder circles here. Just noticing how you feel. Noticing what's shifted and the quality of your breath, if anything has changed. And slowly come to stillness. For our next posture, we're going to be coming into a melted heart pose. So once again, come back into that tabletop position. Knees, hips width apart, hips above your knees, and begin to walk your hands forward, lowering your chest and forehead down towards the mat. Let your heart melt down. Let your belly soften. And if you're feeling any kind of a tingling sensation at any moment, then slightly adjust your arms or come out of this shape and make your way back into it when you feel ready. Come back to your breath. Soften your neck, your shoulders, out your fingertips. Very gently slide back into your child's pose. You can bring your knees together, arms by your side, palms pointing up, releasing your shoulders. Take a few breaths here. And then we're gradually going to take this into any child's pose variation that you'd like to experience now. So if you feel like staying here with your knees together, your arms by your side, please go ahead and do so. Otherwise, if you'd like to take your knees out a little bit wider and let your chest come in between your legs, go ahead and find that variation. You can walk your arms out and let your forehead come down towards the mat. Come back to your breath. Let your body completely surrender. There's nothing you have to do now. Just let time and gravity do the work here for you. Slowly begin to walk your hands in, bringing your spine back up into an upright position, and we'll be transitioning onto our backs. Take your legs out in front of you, scoot your hips towards the center of your mat, and then slowly come down, drawing your knees into your chest when you get there. Extend your left leg in front of you, releasing your foot down to the mat, and guide your right knee across your body for a supine twist. And you can adjust your hips here in any way that would allow you to find a little bit more comfort through this pose. You might even prop up your knee with a blanket or your pillow. Take your right arm out to your side, keeping both shoulders on the mat. Gaze can go to your right or stay up towards the ceiling. Let your body soften and melt down into the mat. Gently begin to make your way back to center, bringing your spine into a neutral position. Draw your knees into your chest, pausing here for a moment, taking a few breaths. And then extend your right leg long in front of you, releasing your foot down to the mat. Guide your left knee across your body. Once again, you might support that knee with a blanket or pillow. Adjust your hips as you need, and extend your left arm out to your side. Gaze can follow. And try to keep both shoulders on the mat. Soften your breath. Let your shoulders feel heavy and rooted into the mat. Very gently come back into a neutral spine. Draw your knees back into your chest. Pause here for a moment, noticing how you feel, noticing what's changed. And we'll slowly transition into our final relaxation. So get whatever you need to get comfortable here. If you're in your bed, you can come under the covers and extend your legs out in front of you. Arms can come by your side. Shoulders relaxed. Allow your body to melt into the mat or into your bed, letting your whole body feel heavy. Softening your breath. Allowing yourself to enjoy this rest. Remembering there's nothing you need to do right now. Nothing that needs to get fixed. Nothing that needs to be resolved or figured out. Just allow yourself to be here, to surrender and slip into this Shavasana, into this deep slumber. Softening through your toes, letting your ankles relax, Letting your calves and your shins feel heavy. Letting your knees drop out to the side. Your thighs are feeling weighted. Your hips rooted down, supported by your bed or by the floor beneath you. Letting your belly soften. Letting your chest feel soft. Your back pressed against your bed. Let your arms and your elbows feel heavy. Your hands weighted down. Soften your neck and your jaw. Soften your face, your forehead. Let the area around your forehead soften. And open yourself to receiving this sleep, this moment of rest.